Hey everybody, welcome back to the 32-team franchise quarterback review for the past 14 seasons. Yes, I play every single game for the entire season, playoffs, Super Bowl, and I've been doing it for 14 in-game seasons from Madden 20 all the way to Madden 26. So we are going to go over the quarterbacks who started at least one game for the New York Jets. First, we have Chad Pennington. Pennington was originally with the Jets from 2000 to 2004, went 17-31. He then was ousted because they had the number one overall pick in 2005, that draft class, and they drafted Alex Smith. So they move on from Pennington. Pennington goes to the Raiders, goes 5-12. Gets booted from there because they didn't have stability in Oakland. Then he goes to Jacksonville, was an 11-23 record starter in 2 seasons, then was a backup for the Titans, and then returned to the Jets in 2011 when Alex Smith was injured, and Jim Storge was the backup starting quarterback during that injured time. When we look at Chad Pennington's real-life career versus my Madden career, you can see the Madden career here is right there, and then the real-life career, and then his time with the Jets. And so right there you see he did much better in my franchise than he did in real life. More passing yards, more touchdowns. I did throw more interceptions, but he did play a lot more. He even had one more rushing touchdown and about 200 more yards. Then we have Alex Smith, who has been the starting quarterback for the Jets since the 2005 draft. He is 86-72. He ascended to like a upper 90s overall, and he's a 99 right now. So he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. With that, we see his career stats versus his real-life stats. And after this season, the 2015 to 2016 season, he will surpass the real Alex Smith's career with passing yards, because he has definitely more than 2,000 and 2,200 passing yards. Already, he's at 304 touchdowns. Yeah, I've thrown a lot of interceptions with him compared to real life. I actually haven't rushed as much with him as real Madden or the real life, and then 13 more rushing touchdowns. I tend to score more touchdowns and sometimes have fewer yards than the real life person, but I don't know if that's just the way my seasons go typically. I do a lot more scoring. Maybe I'm more efficient going down the field. I don't normally have the top yards for the player than they normally would. But Alex Smith has been an all-time great Jet. Probably, Joe Namath is the only one he's chasing. Then you got Jim Storge. I mentioned he was the one that filled in for... Oh, actually, he didn't fill in for Alex Smith in 2011. That was a different quarterback then. But he was 3-3 because there was an injury to Alex Smith, and it was Jim Storge who was the backup that stepped in, but not in 2011 that Chad Pennington stepped in for. But he was a backup for the Buccaneers in 2008, and he didn't do anything. When we look at his real life versus Madden, I did better in Jim Storge's career in real life than in my Madden than in real life, because Storge was the backup to Peyton Manning. He really only played like week 17 games when the Colts were already the number 1 or number 2 seed in the league. And so, of course, my franchise, he had maybe more real starts. He even had a playoff game where he lost, but at least he gave it his all. Then Phillip Rivers, my journeyman quarterback. He had one playoff season with the Titans, then not so much success. Titans move on from him. He ended up being a backup quarterback in Minnesota. After deciding not to re-sign with the Vikings, he went to the Cardinals, has a 500 record there in 4 seasons, 25-25. Then he was the backup for Alex Smith in 2012 and 2013, playing only one game and winning that game, and then backup with the Rams and Packers. When we look at his real life versus Madden, his real life was way better. I definitely bungled his career. You can see he didn't have much career stats with the Jets, only 334 yards. Most of his career came from the Titans and from the Cardinals. Then we got Kellen Clemens. So Clemens was with the Redskins from 06 to 09. That was a 16-26 record. Then he went to San Francisco as a backup for 3 years, only played one game and was 1-0. He had no team in the NFL in 2013, and then he came to be the Jets backup quarterback from 2014 to the present, and he has a 1-2 record. Kellen Clemens did play for the Jets in real life. When we look at his career, he has much more success in my franchise than in real life, significantly more yards, touchdowns, picks, And then yards, about 140 more. And then we have the same amount of rushing touchdowns. Not bad for a backup quarterback. Now, we mentioned... oh, that's right. So we have some, not Dolphins backups, but these are the Jets backup. And the power of editing fixes the mistake. Jets backups with no starts. We have Vinny Testaverde, who was there in 2002. In real life, he played more into the early 2000s, but my franchise, he didn't really have any opportunities to start. I just sort of moved on from him. Torrey Woodbury, I guess he was a quarterback that played for the Jets. He was also on the roster from 02 to 03 in my franchise. Quincy Carter from Dallas. He spent 1 year with the Patriots in 04 as a backup. Then he was the backup in 2005 with Alex Smith as a starting quarterback. Craig Nall, he was with Cleveland, I think Pittsburgh, and then he was gone or with the Jets. James Killian, you might not have heard of him. I never heard of him either. But James Killian was a 7th, 6th round pick. I think he may have been undrafted in real life, but he was a backup for me for 2 years. Luke McCown from 08 and 09. Rhett Bomar from 09 to 2012. We've got Ryan Fitzpatrick was there for 2 years, the Harvard quarterback. We all know about Fitzpatrick. And then Ryan Nassib is the current backup since 2013. Then when we look at quarterbacks all time with the Jets, when I mentioned Alex Smith was chasing Joe Namath, what I meant was he has surpassed Joe Namath in yards and in touchdowns. So almost 134 more touchdowns and about 6,300 more passing yards. Ken O'Brien, Richard Todd. We see Chad Pennington getting in the top 5 there. Testaverde top 6 in both. So that's the all-time Jets passing leaders with my alternate reality of the NFL. So there you have it, the New York Jets starting quarterbacks in my 14 years of playing this franchise. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I've got some weekly updates. I'll try to get some gameplay updates here and there. Normally I'll do that more for the playoffs, but maybe I'll try to throw a game here and there. And then just because we're in year 14, try to share some history. So like the video if you enjoy this content. Subscribe to the channel if you want more updates of this franchise. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.